Fraunhofer diffraction at single slit. This is very, very, very important up to infinity. So very, very important. You prepare well. Okay, this is the figure. You just to draw the figure and explain in your own words. You don't by heart. So simply you can see I am taking here, this is A, this is B. So here to here AB. So AB is equal to, this is E, the width of the slit E, this is E. So width of the slit E. The slit is divided into n small slits. Okay. So from the source, a plane wave, in Fraunhofer diffraction only plane wave front is used, we observe. So this is the W dash plane wave is incident on the AB slit. So this is the convex lens L. At a focal length of this convex lens, let us take a screen. This is the screen. Let us take a screen at a distance of focal length. So at this edge, it is diffracted and allowed to fall on the convex lens. From this edge also allowed to fall on the convex lens. From this center also allowed to fall on the convex lens. So this is the primary wave. This primary wave focused on the screen at a point P0. This P0 is called bright central image. It is called bright central image. According to Huygens, every primary wave front produces secondary wave front. So this is the secondary wave front with an angle theta. So this secondary wave front is also focused on the screen at a point P0, P1, at a point P1. Yes, at a point P1. At a point P1, we can calculate maximum intensity values, that is principal maxima value. So also we can calculate minimum intensity, that is principal minima values. You can see here the perfect figure on the screen. So this is small a. So explanation, construction and explanation, you can write in your own words. So listen again here. Consider AB is equal to small e. Consider AB is a single slit. E is the width of this single slit. At a small distance, let us take a convex lens. From the convex lens at a distance of focal length, let us take a screen. From the monochromatic light source, a monochromatic plane wave, W dash plane wave, is incident on the AB slit. So the incident light diffracted from the obstacle. So the primary, this is the primary The primary wave fronts or waves focused on the screen at point P naught. This is called bright central image. Bright central image. According to Huygens, Fresnel-Huygens, every primary wave front produces a secondary wave. So the secondary wave with angle theta also allowed to fall on the convex lens and focused on the screen at point P1. At point P1, the maximum and minimum intensity values we can be calculated. You see, depending on the path difference, the point P1 may have maximum or minimum values. So you see here, to calculate the path difference, we should draw the AC and BC. So in this figure, BC is known as path difference. BC is known as path difference. So calculation of path difference, that is calculation of BC. From the triangle, you see first point, from the triangle ABC, I want to take sine theta. What is the sine? Opposite side by hypotenuse. What is opposite? Theta opposite BC by hypotenuse AB. From this relation, BC is equal to AB sine theta. What about this AB value? A to B, what is this AB value? This is small e. So BC is equal to small e sine theta. So path difference represented by delta. Delta is equal to E sine theta. This is equation number 1. You can see in this slide here. So path difference delta is equal to E sine theta. E sine theta, that is equation number 1. You can observe here from the triangle ABC, sine theta is equal to BC by AB, BC is equal to AB sine theta, AB is equal to E. Just to substitute here E sine theta, so we get equation 1. So delta, path difference delta is equal to E sine theta, that is equation number 1. The corresponding phase difference, what is the relation between phase difference and path difference? So dash into path difference. So this is 2 pi by lambda. So this is the general principle. The total phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. So at the place of path difference, delta we can write that is equal to delta is equal to E sine theta. So here you clearly observe here, this is the AB slit. The AB slit is divided into, you see here, let the width of the slit is E. It is divided into n equal parts. So it is divided into n number of equal parts. This smallest part, amplitude, small a. Let you see the wavefront, each part is small a. That is amplitude of wave from each part, that is small a. Small a is the amplitude of that smallest part. So the phase difference between any two successive waves, this smallest wave or smallest parts represented by small d. So small d is equal to total phase difference by n number of parts. This is total. This is capital. For example, 10 pence, 100 rupees. So this 10 pence, 1 pen value, what we are taking 100 by 10. So we get 1 pen value. Here D is the phase difference between any two successive wave, that is single, any two successive wave, that is equal to total phase difference divided by small n. So what about this value, total phase difference? This is the total phase difference, 2 pi by lambda, as the substitution here, by n as it is n. So we can write this is equal to 1 by n of remaining 2 pi by lambda into e sine theta. So you can see here, this is d, 1 by n, 2 pi by lambda, 1 by n, 2 pi by lambda into e sine theta, e sine theta. So you see here, this is, we should calculate the resultant amplitude capital R, resultant amplitude capital R. Using the method of vector addition of amplitude, the resultant amplitude capital R is given by, this is the principle. You observe in your syllabus. So Fraunhofer diffraction at single slit, at double slit, at n slits, all are qualitative, not quantitative. So we take direct principles. We take direct principles, that is qualitative. So this principle proof up to 3 pages. So we are taking the result direct principle. I am taking here using the method of vector addition of amplitude. The resultant amplitude is given by R is equal to A sine n d by 2 all divided by sine d by 2. What is d? 1 by n of 2 pi by lambda into sine theta. So just we have calculated, this is 1 by d. This is wrong, not s, 1 by d. So, but we know d is equal to 1 by n, 2 pi by lambda into e sine theta. E sine theta. This is the principle you remember, a plus b whole square, simple, a square plus b square plus 2ab, like this principle you remember yourself. R is equal to a sine nd by 2 by sine d by 2. That is the, this equation is known as vector addition of amplitude. Vector addition of amplitude, that is R is equal to a sine nd by 2 sine d by 2, where d is equal to, we know very well this value. From this relation we can write nd by 2, nd by 2, nd by 2 is equal to pi e sine theta by lambda. This is equation number 2. From this equation 2, d by 2 is equal to, we can write pi sine theta as it is by this n, we can write here, so n lambda. That is equation number 2. Equation 2, equation 3. Now substituting this equation 2, equation 3 in equation 1. Equation 1, R is equal to a sine bracket by sine bracket. At the place of nd by 2, equation 2, we can write this is pi e sine theta by pi e sine theta by lambda. So what about a d by 2? Pi e sine theta by n lambda, as it is here, you can observe here. Same. Let pi e sine theta by lambda is equal to alpha. You remember this value. Let alpha is equal to pi e sine theta by lambda, or pi e sine theta by lambda is equal to alpha. So substitute, this is total, this is alpha. So I am taking here sine alpha by, this is pi e sine theta by lambda. This is alpha. Remaining n is here, so alpha by n you can observe here. So r is equal to a into sine alpha by n. Alpha by n. Alpha is very small value. Small value. Alpha by n is very, very small value. So we can write sine of alpha by n approximately is equal to alpha by n. You see here. You see here. Alpha value is very small. Alpha by n is very, very, very small. So we can write sine of alpha by n is equal to alpha by n. Substituting in that equation, r is equal to a sine alpha as it is. So here alpha by n, so we can write this is n into a. N into a sine alpha by alpha. But Na is equal to capital A. That is total amplitude. This is capital A, total amplitude. We can write here r is equal to a sine alpha by alpha, or capital R is equal to a by alpha into sine alpha. This is the resultant amplitude. Resultant amplitude. So here intensity value. Intensity, you know very well, I is directly proportional to amplitude square. So I is equal to k into r square. If k constant k is equal to 1, I is equal to r square. You see here, I is equal to r square. So substituting this r value, so r square, we can write this is square whole square. You can see here. So a square sine alpha by alpha whole square, or a square sine square alpha by alpha square. We can write like this. I is equal to r square, that is equal to a sine alpha by alpha whole square. I is equal to a square sine alpha by alpha whole square. This is the intensity. Intensity. So fifth one, principal maxima. So first one we have calculated path difference E sine theta. Second one we have calculated D is equal to 1 by n into 2 pi by lambda into sine theta, E sine theta. 2 pi by lambda into E sine theta. Number 3, amplitude is equal to A into sine alpha by alpha. Fourth one, we have calculated intensity is equal to r square is equal to this a square into sine alpha by alpha whole square. Up to here we have completed. So we have completed up to intensity value I is equal to a square. This is a square sine alpha by alpha whole square. Sine alpha by alpha whole square. So very, very important principal maxima. They will ask in examination, distinguish between Fresnel and Fraunhofer diffraction and explain the principal maxima conditions and minima conditions in Fraunhofer diffraction at single slit. So you see here, the resultant amplitude capital R can be written in ascending power of alpha. Ascending power of alpha. This equation 3, we can write like this, because this is R is equal to A by alpha into sine alpha. So R is equal to A by alpha as it is. But sine alpha, in terms of ascending order of alpha, we can write like this. Alpha minus alpha cube by factorial 3 plus alpha 5 by factorial 5 minus alpha 7 by factorial 7 plus and so on. Just to take alpha common factor. So here remaining 1. So 1 alpha common. So alpha square by factorial 3 plus alpha to the power 4 by factorial 5. This is minus alpha to the power 6 by factorial 7 and so on. So here alpha gets cancelled. So remaining A. 1 minus alpha square by factorial 3, same. This is the same. This is minus. This is minus. Same. So now maximum intensity positions. We are going to calculate maximum intensity positions. Intensity I will be maximum when R is maximum, because R is equal to I is equal to R square. So I is directly proportional to R square. If I is maximum, R is also maximum. Maximum. Intensity I maximum will be maximum. I will be maximum when R maximum. This is amplitude. Resultant amplitude also maximum. For maximum value of amplitude, so if we get R is equal to A, that is maximum value. To get R is equal to A, we should take here 0. Alpha is equal to 0. You observe here clearly. For maximum value of R, alpha must be 0. So I am taking here alpha is equal to 0. What is alpha value? What is alpha value? We have taken here alpha. Let alpha is equal to pi sine theta by lambda. So alpha is equal to pi sine theta by lambda is equal to 0. So this pi e lambda, this is sine theta is equal to 0, theta is equal to 0, theta is equal to 0. The condition theta is equal to 0 means that the maximum intensity formed at P naught in the figure. What is P naught? Bright central image. That is called, P naught is known as bright central image or maximum intensity image, or it is also called principal maximum. Principal maximum. You clearly observe here, this is the principal maximum. Principal maximum. The condition theta is equal to 0. What are the conditions here? You remember, first condition alpha is equal to 0. Second condition, we get sine theta is equal to 0. From this relation, theta is equal to 0, we get that condition. From this, we get R is equal to A. Finally, I maximum is equal to R square, A square. This is the maximum intensity or principal maximum conditions. Principal maximum conditions. What are the principal maximum conditions? Alpha is equal to 0. Sine theta is equal to 0. Or theta is equal to 0. Then we get maximum intensity. That is R square is equal to A square. These are the principal maximum conditions. So minimum intensity condition, minimum intensity position. Intensity I will be minimum when sine alpha is equal to 0. Sine alpha is equal to 0. Sine alpha is equal to 0 means alpha is equal to plus or minus m pi, where m is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. M is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Substituting 0, sine alpha is equal to 0. Sine 0 is equal to 0. So, okay, we get sine alpha is equal to 0. That is, alpha is equal to plus or minus pi. What about this? Alpha is equal to plus or minus m pi. What is alpha value? Substitute here alpha value pi sine theta by lambda. Right side as it is. As it is. So here this pi gets cancelled. E sine theta is equal to n lambda. M lambda. So E sine theta is equal to plus or minus m lambda. M lambda. So here, thus, we obtain the points of minimum intensity on either side of the principal maximum. So what is the condition for minimum intensity condition? Minimum intensity condition, that is sine alpha is equal to 0. This is the minimum intensity condition. That's all. Minimum intensity condition. For example, this is the minimum intensity. Up to here, this is minimum intensity dark. Remaining, this is principal maxima, either sides. You observe here, we obtain the points of minimum intensity on either side of the principal maxima. For example, here principal maxima is there. This is the principal maxima. So this side and this side, it has minimum intensity images. So you observe here, sine theta is equal to plus or minus m lambda. For example, m is equal to 0. Sine theta is equal to 0. Then theta is equal to 0. What is this condition? This is maximum intensity condition. Maximum intensity condition. You can see here. So sine theta is equal to 0. Theta is equal to 0. This is maximum intensity condition. That is principal maxima. For m is equal to 0, sine theta is equal to 0, which corresponds to principal maximum. That is principal maximum. So secondary maxima. Secondary maxima. In between equally spaced minima, we get secondary maxima. For example, this is the secondary maxima. At a small distance up to here, at a small distance up to here, equally spaced minima, equally spaced dark rings, dark fringes, dark images. So equally spaced minima means minimum intensity fringes or images. We get secondary maxima. After dark, we get maximum. Maximum means maximum intensity. The positions can be obtained by differentiating intensity with respect to alpha, with respect to I. So intensity, what is I principle? I is equal to a square sine alpha by alpha whole square. So differentiating this I with respect to alpha and equate to 0. So this is the same. Di by d alpha is equal to d by d alpha. At the place of I, we should write a square sine alpha by alpha whole square. Whole square. So we can write this as a square. I am writing here d by d alpha. This is sine alpha by alpha whole square. We can write sine square alpha. After that, you can see here. You can see here. In your examination, you should write only this formula and this formula. No need to write total up to here, this calculation. No need. It is very simple. You can write, no problem. You can write, no problem. Okay. So we can write this is a square d by d alpha, sine alpha by alpha whole square. So we can write sine square alpha by alpha square, that is equal to 0. This is a square as it is. D by d alpha also as it is. So we can write this is alpha to the power minus 2 sine square alpha is equal to 0. 0. So a square as it is. D by dx of uv. We can write this is uv dash plus vu dash. uv dash plus vu dash. You observe here, this is u, this is v. So a square constant as it is a square constant. So u as it is. So v dash 2 sine alpha cos alpha. This is v dash plus vu dash. This is u as it is. vu dash v as it is u dash. What is the u value? Alpha to the power minus 2. So du by d alpha, what is that? Minus 2 alpha to the power minus 3. You know very well. So I am writing here up to here, no doubt. So a square as it is, this is 2 sine alpha cos alpha as it is up to here. Alpha to the power minus 2 we can write divided by alpha square. This minus into plus minus. This 2 sine square alpha. This alpha to the power minus 3 we can write divided by alpha to the power plus 3 is equal to 0. 0. So a square as it is, just take 2 sine alpha by alpha. 2 sine alpha, 1 alpha common factor. So you see here, I am taking here a square into 2 sine alpha by alpha. This is cos alpha by alpha minus sine alpha by alpha square. Alpha square. So multiplying with alpha, dividing with alpha, we get this term. You see. So a square 2 sine alpha by alpha. This is alpha cos alpha. This is alpha into alpha, alpha square minus sine alpha by alpha square as it is equal to a square as it is 2 sine alpha by alpha as it is alpha cos alpha minus sine alpha by alpha square. Alpha square. You see as it is here. You can write this formula and direct you can write this formula because it is a qualitative. So a square 2 sine alpha, a square 2 sine alpha by alpha into alpha cos alpha minus sine alpha. You observe here 3 terms are here. So a square is not equal to 0 because it is a constant amplitude. If sine alpha is equal to 0, what is this condition? Minimum condition, minima or minimum. So what is our, this is a maximum. So sine alpha is equal to 0. We cannot consider sine alpha is equal to 0. Remaining alpha cos alpha minus sine alpha is equal to 0 we are taking here. So hence the positions of secondary maxima are given by alpha cos alpha minus sine alpha is equal to 0. Alpha cos alpha is equal to, this is sine alpha. So alpha is equal to sine alpha by cos alpha. Sine by cos, we get tan alpha. Tan alpha. What is the secondary maximum condition? Alpha is equal to tan alpha. This is the secondary maximum condition. Alpha is equal to tan alpha. This is the secondary maxima condition. So graph, take an x-axis, you observe clearly, take an x-axis face value. On y-axis, you take tan alpha value. Tan alpha, maximum condition value, alpha is equal to tan alpha. So this is origin. This is face pi by 2. This is 5 pi by 2. 5 pi by 2. So negative also we can take same minus pi by 2. This is pi by 2. Here 3 pi by 2. Another one 5 pi by 2. So here also minus 3 pi by 2. This is minus 5 pi by 2. Minus 5 pi by 2. You know very well tan. This is tan graph. So tan graph. Clearly, we observe here tan graph. You see in this figure. So we can take from the origin one straight line. It shows y is equal to alpha. Y is equal to alpha. You see clearly in this figure. So the value, this graph shows the variation between phase and y is equal to tan alpha. Tan alpha. So this line shows y is equal to alpha. The points alpha is equal to, this phase alpha is equal to, phase alpha represents 0, coincide at 0. This is coincide pi by 2. No, so this is pi by 2, 3 pi by 2 and so on. So this is the coincide value here 0. In second one, this is 3 pi by 2. In this 5 pi by 2 and so on. And so on. So the points you see here, the points of interaction of two curves give the value of alpha. Alpha values from the graph, alpha is equal to 0. 0. Here, so this graph value, we are taking 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, and so on. And so on. So here alpha is equal to 0. Actually, intensity is equal to a square into sine alpha by alpha. So first one, this is I naught, I-O or I naught is equal to a square principal maximum. If alpha is equal to 0, it gives I naught a square. This is called principal maximum. It has proof, long proof. So I am giving direct 2 marks bit. If alpha is equal to 3 pi by 2, I1 is equal to a square as it is sine of alpha, that is 3 pi by 2 by alpha 3 pi by 2, approximately a square by 22. This is called first secondary maximum. So our topic is secondary maximum. This is first secondary maximum, I1, first secondary maximum. Alpha is equal to 5 pi by 2, that is I2 is equal to a square of sine 5 pi by 2 by 5 pi by 2 whole square. So we get a square. I am not giving the proof. This is qualitative. So a square by 62. This is called secondary maximum. Secondary maximum. From the expressions of I naught, I1, I2, and so on, we can say that most of the incident light is concentrated at principal maximum, and the rest are remaining redistributed into the secondary maximum. So first, this is concentrated at principal maxima. You compared I naught is maximum compared to I1. So I1 is more compared to I2, and also so on. So the total incident light concentrated at I naught, that is principal maxima. So remaining concentrated at I1, I2, I3, and so on, that is secondary maxima. First secondary, second secondary, third secondary maxima. So this is the intensity distribution. The graph shows the variation between this alpha and intensity. From this graph, first point, at alpha is equal to 0. Alpha is equal to 0. This is maximum intensity value. Diffraction pattern consists of central principal maximum, that is central principal maximum or maximum intensity value. At alpha is equal to 3 pi by 2, this point, or this point. The diffraction pattern consists of second maxima of decreasing intensity on either side. So this is secondary principal maxima. This right side decreases value, this left side also decreases. So decreasing intensity on either sides of the principal secondary maxima. So third point, at alpha is equal to plus or minus pi, 2 pi, this is at pi, I is equal to 0, 2 pi is equal to I is equal to 0. So this is minimum intensity. So it means between secondary maxima, there are minimum positions are there.